Okay, so on this question, they want us to take the three limits. The limit as x goes to -8 from the left of that function, and then the limit as x goes to -8 from the right, and then the limit as x goes to -8 overall. So let's be clear on this. This is from the left. This one is from the right. And this one here is, oops, overall. Okay, same function all the way through. Well, the main deal is that we have to know how to handle the absolute value. So what is the story with absolute value? Well, basically, if you think about it, if you have the absolute value something like 2, it just stays positive 2. But if you have negative 2, it changes it to positive. How does it do it? It puts another minus in the front, which makes it eventually become positive. So one more time. So what does absolute value do? If you have a number that's already positive, it just leaves it positive. If you have a number that's negative, it sticks another negative in front, and two negatives make it positive. That's what absolute value does. So you just need to know that if you have the absolute value of some inside function, it's going to just stay positive, and then it'll just change to parentheses. No more. So I'm removing the absolute value. This is how we remove the absolute values. We always want to remove the absolute values. Whenever we see absolute value on any question in calculus, we always want to remove them. And how do we correctly remove them? Well, if the number inside is positive, it just stays positive. If the number inside is negative, it puts another negative in the front, and the two negatives make positive. So if the inside is already positive, it just stays that way when the inside is positive. But it'll put a minus in the front, again, just with parentheses now, when the inside is negative. Now, this here is a positive inside, and this here is a negative inside. So the other negative in the front and the negative inside, it makes it positive. So it's our job to decide if the inside of the absolute value is positive, if so it puts plus in the front, or negative, if so it puts another minus in the front. So the two minuses will be positive. So come back up here, look at this absolute value. If I put, now this is -8 left. Let me show you, let me do a number line here. Here's like here's like 0, -1, -2, blah, 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 all the way down to -8. Okay. So if you are left of -8, you're something like -8.1. If you're on the right of -8, you're something like -7.9, right? If you're on the right of it, you're -7.9. If you're on the left of it, you're like -8.1 compared to -8. Is that making sense? So if this says left of -8, right? -8 from the left, that little minus in the upper right hand corner means from the left. That means over here, like -8.1. So if I put in like -8.1 inside these absolute values, that's going to come out negative, right? -0.1. So the inside of this absolute value is what? Is negative. What does that mean? If when the inside is negative, you got to put another minus in the front and remove the absolute values, put another minus in front. So we go, okay, okay. So this will equal, it's going to be x plus 8 on the top. And on the bottom, it's going to be the 9 will be and I'm just going to put the minus on the 9, which is in the front. And the limit is still out there. Let me just put the limit right here. Limit as x goes to minus, oops, running out of room here. Minus 8 from the left. Do you see that? Do you see what I did? What did I do? I took the absolute values have been removed. I removed them. Remove absolute values. How did I remove them? I looked inside here and said, if I put in something left of -8, like -8.1, it's going to make that inside negative. So I put a negative in the front and I changed it to parentheses. That's how absolute values make things positive. Are you understanding that? I'd be glad to talk with you about it if it's not making sense. Absolute value, look right here. Well, how did the absolute value make that negative 2 positive? Put another minus in the front, so the two minuses became positive. So if the inside is going to come out negative, which it is when you plug in something left of -8, then you've got to make it positive right now by putting another minus in the front and then get rid of the absolute values and just make them parentheses. Okay, now we can plug in, sorry, now we can cancel these guys. See, now they match. And so now our answer, in fact, let's just get rid of this. Now our answer is -1/9. See, because we have nothing on the top. So that's 1/9, and it's negative. Okay, whereas the second one now, let's try the second one. Here we're doing -8 from the right side. So if you're on the right side of -8, you're at like -7.9. So if I put -7.9 in there for x, what's the inside going to be? Positive zero point 0.1, right? Like $8, take away $7.90, positive zero point 0.1. It's positive. When the inside is positive, you just put a plus sign in the front. Get rid of the absolute values and just put a plus sign in the front. So I just say, okay, plus sign in the front, +9, get rid of the absolute values. So the absolute values were here. I got rid of them, and I just put a plus in the front because they were already going to come out positive anyway, so it just stays positive. And now what happens? Cancel, cancel. The answer is 1/9. Positive, you see. See the difference? This first one, when I put in -8 for the left, -8.1, that was going to come out negative, so I had to put a negative in front to make it positive and then get rid of the absolute values. Here, this one we put into the right of -8, it was going to, like -7.9, it was going to come out positive, so just put a plus in the front and get rid of the absolute values. Then you can cancel. Once you get rid of the absolute values, you can cancel. So this is -1/9, this is positive 1/9, and then this final answer is D and E. Why? Because those are not the same, right? When these guys are different, when they're not the same answer, then the overall limit doesn't exist. We've seen that before, right? The only time an overall limit exists is if the left and the right are the same at that point. The limit to -8 from the left and the limit to -8 from the right came out different answers, so the limit to -8 overall does not exist. It's got to be the same left and right to have an answer there. If they're different left and right, then the overall limit does not exist. And so there we go.